news, views, voices of the global Indian community. India abroad.
Optimism, continuity in policy, democracy is well alive. India has demonstrated beyond any reasonable apprehension that it is one of the stablest democracies in the world, the transition of power. It's something to be very proud of. Silicon Valley is very excited. They believe that the policies will continue in this trajectory of India becoming a rising economic global power. And I think that's going to continue, and that's what Silicon Valley is excited about. The response was very positive, right? 150 Indian Americans coming from all over the country walking the halls of Congress is not something that happens a lot, right? Tremendous excitement. There is one acknowledgement that the U.S.-India partnership is a consequential partnership. So as we advocated for the issues around the strategic relationship and the partnership, conversation around ISAT, favored status, the Quad relationship, building it from economic to a strength and prosperity in the Southern Pacific was exciting. Immigration, country caps, the amount of time that it takes for people to wait for a green card, children that are being aged out, STEM workers that lose a job and have to sometimes go back. Immigration was front and center. While comprehensive immigration reform may not be happening anytime soon, there is an agreement that a skilled workforce must be protected for America's interests. And then we had a conversation about the idea of critical minerals, how important it is for America with the China hegemon to recognize that allies such as India can forge this world pact on critical minerals. And obviously the acknowledgement that there is an increase in anti-Hindu hate with the defacing of temples. The conversation about the 5 members of Congress asking for the DOJ. There's a greater awareness. There's also a much more awareness for HR 1131, the Tanida resolution. So all in all, I'd say that it was a very productive day, a day where the U.S.-India partnership is confirmed as one of the most strategic relationships. And I think you'll see a lot of progress from FIDS and our outreach with members of Congress and their staff. Well, I think the question sometimes comes back about how they see India's role in climate change. Reaffirming that India has made a commitment to the Paris Accord, and the New South really focusing on the fact that climate change is real and things have to happen. That was that. From the idea of immigration, I think many people are just beginning to understand the magnitude of these country caps on the humanitarian issues, understanding that children are getting aged out. They don't have the dreamer status, but at the same time, they're facing an onslaught of a system of which there's no fault of their own. They're legal immigrants living in this country, but if they get aged out. So a lot of education, a lot of awareness around that, and certainly the conversations around the increase in what would be perceived as anti-Hindu hate. I think they're acknowledging it, they're seeing it, they want to understand what's going on. Certainly while no pledges were made, there was not a single office that did not say that we intend to look at this. They see it as consequential. They see it as a reliable ally in a part of the world that is very complex with the China hegemon. There's a saying that who owns the waters, who owns the skies, and who owns cyber has to be a reliable partner. I think in India they see that. Not only do they see an economic powerhouse that has the potential to be the 3rd largest economy over the next 10 to 20 years, but I think they also recognize the strength of a democracy in which 600 million people live beyond a certain level. If they're uplifted, it creates an economic powerhouse that enables us to compete on the stage where America sees India as a reliable partner in the jurisprudence of some of the biggest challenges we face as humanity. That's what we do. It is not often that you do this. We did this last year, this year alone, 2nd year in a row. FIDS has now an office. FIDS now has staff. You can just imagine the interaction that will continue to happen year-round, ongoing. And we intend to partner with some of the other organizations that share our values, the pursuit of a democracy, ensure that it's grounded in strong principles, and economic ties that have the potential to make America great. And as Americans living in this country, we recognize how India can play a very significant role in ensuring that America dominates its position in the world. I'm very excited. I think Congress did not expect this many people to hit them 2 years in a row. I yearn for the year when next year we're going to have about 250 people strong. But Lalit, the most important point, about 35 delegates are here today who are under the age of 30. That's a new generation of advocates that are understanding that to get a seat at the table requires a commitment to pursue the issues that America sees as important, but more importantly, keeping a seat at the table is important, and this generation gets it. They look at issues in a very different manner. We're proud that they're joining us today to pursue what we believe is one of the most consequential partnerships of the 21st century, United States and India.